Well, I didn't recognize him right away. When I walked outside, there was a guy standing outside of the of the driver's side door with the door open, kind of, sluggishly walking. He was wearing a white jacket, kind of really trim built, like skinny pants, not super tall, dark hair. And then there was another guy in the car. At the time, I didn't see what he looked like, but the guy that was driving was ended up being Jake. But, I didn't know at the time. I wasn't thinking about it.
How old would you say did the person appear to be to you?
To me, he was in his very early 20s. I wanted to just say that because I thought he's obviously drinking, but I had no idea that he was 18.
Hey, let me ask you something. You say that now you know it's Jake. How do you now know it's Jake?
Well, when we were finishing filling out, the paperwork, one of my friend's cars was one of the cars that was hit. So, the officers pulled the registration. They had to open his car because he locked his car and fled the scene with his friend. So they unlocked his car and dug through his car and found his registration, and that's how we knew, because they put his registration, his address, and his name on the police report for the insurance company.
Well, okay, so what you know is that Jake owned the car, but how do you know? Now, you've seen
Oh, but no, that's when we put it together. We were like, oh, that's who that is, because there was a bunch of people standing outside after, but only myself and one other neighbor actually saw him, and he's like, that guy looks familiar, but I wasn't really thinking of placing him with anybody, because that wasn't the first thing on my mind.
So once the police told you that Jake is the owner of the car, did you then go and look, Google him or something, and find an image of him, and that
triggered it, and it was like, of course that's him. Yeah, that's exactly who that was.
Did other people around there recognize him from the show?
Nobody, no. It was a bunch of people in their 30s. I don't think they really watch Disney stuff.
But you've obviously now seen the picture. Does the picture you've seen of Jake resemble or match the person you saw at the scene driving the car?
Oh, 100%. Myself and the other two people that saw him, 100% said, of course, that's him.
Did you tell the police this?
No, they had already left by the time we looked at the police report and saw the name, and then they had just left to go to his house, because they were like, oh, we got his address, we're going.
Are you going to tell the police this, because you're a very important witness?
The police went to Jake's house.
Yeah,
Well,
they asked me first, exactly, what did the suspects look like, what were they wearing, what was their build, and I got his build and his hair color and everything correctly. But myself and the other two people, there was one main person, and then the third person came as they were walking off. So we kind of saw him as he was walking off with his friend. But me and the neighbor across from me both were outside for the most part of the time. I was outside by myself for probably the first 5 minutes, and I was so scared because I jumped outside and then I said this through the gate of my front door. I said, are you guys okay? Because they jackknifed this car into a tree. It looked to me like somebody was dead in a car from where I could see. I was panicking. I was like, are you guys okay? And they didn't say anything to me. They just kept rumbling around, and they kept switching spaces. He ran to the other side of the car, got the other guy out. The other guy got in the driver's side. They both shut the door, acted like they were going to drive off, but they couldn't move the car. It wouldn't go anywhere. Then they opened the doors again, and I was like, can I help you? Can I get your, and I was like, then I started to realize, I think they're trying to leave. So I ran inside for just a second to grab my phone, and I heard a huge smash. And I opened my door, and right outside my door was a busted bottle of Ciroc vodka. They had thrown over my gate and smashed into the side of my balcony in front of my door.